Commander Sarah Chen stood at the primary observation deck of the Titan research station, her eyes fixed on the swirling storms of Saturn below. After 15 years of searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, humanity had finally received their answer, though not in the way anyone had expected. The signal had first appeared 3 months ago, a peculiar pattern of quantum fluctuations that defied natural explanation. Within weeks, the source revealed itself, a massive fleet of crystalline vessels, each the size of a small moon, emerging from what appeared to be artificially created wormholes at the edge of the solar system. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel," Lieutenant Rodriguez announced, his voice steady despite the tension evident in his posture. "They're requesting system-wide communications." Sarah took a deep breath, straightening her uniform. As the highest-ranking officer on humanity's furthest outpost, first contact protocol fell to her. "Put them through to all stations." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple sets of eyes arranged in geometric patterns. Its voice resonated through the station speakers, somehow simultaneously beautiful and terrifying. "People of Earth, I am High Admiral Xandar of the Meridian Empire. Your civilization has been monitored since your first steps into space. The time has come for your integration into our grand coalition of worlds." Sarah's tactical training screamed warnings at the choice of words. Not an invitation, an integration. "High Admiral, I am Commander Chen of the United Earth Space Force. We are honored by your contact and look forward to peaceful diplomatic relations." The alien's multiple eyes shifted in what might have been amusement. "Commander, you misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. The Meridian Empire spans 10,000 systems. We bring order, stability, and advancement to primitive species such as yours. Resistance would be unfortunate." Over the next several weeks, the Empire's true intentions became clear. Their demands included the complete dismantling of Earth's military forces, surrender of all advanced technology research, and acceptance of imperial governors in every major city. In return, humanity would receive guidance and protection. In a secure underground facility beneath the Himalayas, Earth's leadership convened an emergency session. Sarah's hologram stood among military commanders and civilian leaders from every nation. "The Empire's fleet outguns us by several orders of magnitude," General Santos reported grimly. "Their energy weapons could reduce our cities to ash in minutes." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of quantum physics at the Lunar Institute, raised her hand. "But they don't understand what we've discovered." She brought up a simulation of their latest breakthrough, a quantum entanglement drive that could potentially revolutionize space travel. They'd grown complacent, relying on brute force rather than innovation. Their technology has barely advanced in centuries. Sarah spoke up, her mind racing with possibilities. "We've noticed patterns in their shield frequencies. They're powerful, yes, but inflexible. They've never needed to adapt because no one's challenged them in millennia." President Lai of the United Earth Government stood, her expression resolute. "Then we give them something they've never seen before. Authorization granted for Operation Defiance. Commander Chen, you'll lead our first strike team. We'll appear to negotiate while preparing our forces." As Sarah returned to Titan Station, she watched the crystalline ships glinting in Saturn's light. The Empire thought they were dealing with primitive savages who would bow to superior force. They were about to learn that humanity had a long history of defying impossible odds. In her quarters, she reviewed the classified files on Project Phoenix, a series of revolutionary weapons and defense systems that Earth had developed in secret. The Empire's ultimatum would expire in 72 hours. They expected submission. They would receive defiance instead. Small acts of resistance had already begun. Civilian ships performed seemingly random maneuvers that were actually collecting detailed scans of Imperial vessel movements. Research stations broadcasted routine data that contained encrypted military coordinates. Every human settlement from Mars to Europa prepared for what was coming. The Empire had made a crucial mistake. They assumed that because their technology was more advanced, Victory was assured. They didn't understand that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to think creatively when backed into a corner. As the deadline approached, Sarah received one final transmission from Earth. Operation Defiance is go. Show them why humanity never surrenders. She smiled grimly as she issued orders to her crew. The Empire was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous adversary isn't the one with the biggest weapons. It's the one with nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a facility unknown even to most of Earth's military, Dr. Yuki Tanaka watched as her quantum entanglement drive pulsed with an eerie blue light. The device represented humanity's greatest technological leap, and possibly their only hope for survival. Initial tests are promising. She reported to the holographic assemblage of Earth's Defense Council. The drive doesn't just move through space. It creates microscopic bridges between points in space-time. The Meridian Empire won't be able to track our ships because, technically, they won't be moving through normal space at all. General Santo's hologram nodded approvingly. And the weapons integration. Yuki gestured to a bank of screens showing complex quantum calculations. We've managed to adapt the principle to our defensive systems. Traditional shields try to block incoming energy. Ours will quantum tunnel it into parallel space-time pockets. The more power they throw at us, the more energy we can potentially redirect back at them. From her command post on Titan, Commander Chen's hologram spoke up. The Empire's ships are entering final position. They're deploying what appears to be their main battle fleet near Jupiter. Our long-range scans show they're confident enough to maintain minimal shields. Overconfidence is our advantage, President Lai replied. Dr. Tanaka, how soon can we deploy? The first wave of retrofitted ships is ready now. We've been hiding them in the asteroid belt, powered down to avoid detection. Each vessel carries both the quantum drive and our new adaptive shield system. The quantum technology wasn't their only secret weapon. In preparation for this moment, humanity had developed several other innovations that the Empire, in their technological stagnation, had never considered. Dr. Marcus Wong, head of AI development, stepped forward. Our combat AI systems are ready. Unlike the Empire's rigid command protocols, ours can adapt tactics in real time. They've never faced an opponent that could change strategies mid-battle. The pieces of humanity's resistance were falling into place, while the Empire's massive ships hung in space like crystalline mountains. Earth's smaller, more agile vessels waited in secret, scattered throughout the solar system, hidden in asteroid fields and beneath the icy surfaces of distant moons. Humanity's fleet prepared for what would become known as Operation Stardust. Commander Chen's teams had spent weeks analyzing the Empire's shield frequencies. They discovered that the aliens' defensive systems, while incredibly powerful, operated on predictable patterns. They hadn't needed to innovate because no species had seriously challenged them in centuries. Their shields are like a wall, Chen explained during the final briefing. Immensely strong, but inflexible. Our adaptive systems are more like water, flowing around obstacles, finding weaknesses, and turning the enemy's strength against them. The Empire's ultimatum would expire in 24 hours. Their demands remained unchanged: complete surrender, disarmament, and submission to imperial rule. They didn't know that Earth's apparent diplomatic stalling had been cover for the largest military preparation in human history. In her lunar lab, Yuki made final adjustments to the quantum drive's containment field. The technology was dangerous. Any mistake in the quantum calculations could tear holes in space-time itself. But the alternatives were even worse. The Empire had made it clear that integration meant the effective end of human independence. All ships report quantum drives functioning at optimal levels, her assistant reported. The new shield harmonics are synchronized across the fleet. Yuki looked at the readouts with a mixture of pride and apprehension. The technology they'd developed went beyond anything humanity had dreamed of just a few years ago. The discovery of quantum entanglement on a macro scale had revolutionized their understanding of physics. The Empire, for all their advanced technology, had never explored these possibilities. The final hours ticked by as humanity's hidden fleet maintained their positions. Each ship carried not just new technology, but the hopes of an entire species. They were about to challenge an empire that spanned thousands of worlds, armed with innovations that existed only in theory just months ago. Commander Chen's voice came through on a secure quantum channel, impossible for the Empire to detect. All ships, final systems check. Remember your training. We're not just fighting for ourselves, but for every species that's ever been forced to kneel before the Empire. Tomorrow, we show them that humanity doesn't surrender. As the deadline approached, tension mounted throughout the solar system. The Empire's ships maintained their positions, their crews likely expecting nothing more than a formal surrender. They had no way of knowing that scattered among the asteroids and moons, hundreds of human vessels waited with powered-down systems, their quantum drives ready to rewrite the rules of space warfare. The stage was set for a battle that would shake the foundations of the Meridian Empire. Humanity was about to prove that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't overwhelming force. It's the ability to think beyond the impossible. The Empire's ultimatum expired at precisely 600 Earth Standard Time. High Admiral Xandar's massive flagship, positioned near Jupiter's orbit, transmitted its final message. Your time has ended. Prepare for immediate subjugation. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, hidden within Saturn's rings. Her ship, like hundreds of others scattered throughout the solar system, remained in complete stealth mode, their quantum drives humming silently. She watched as the Imperial fleet began their advance, their crystalline ships forming an attack pattern they'd probably used for centuries. All ships, Operation Stardust is now active. She transmitted through the quantum network. Execute Phase 1. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet sprang to life. The quantum drives activated simultaneously, creating thousands of microscopic wormholes. Imperial sensors registered nothing, until it was too late. The first sign that something was wrong came when 3 of the Empire's patrol ships simply disappeared. Not destroyed, vanished. Their quantum signatures had been redirected into parallel spacetime pockets, a defensive application of Dr. Tanaka's technology that no one had ever attempted before. Multiple targets acquired. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his tactical station. Imperial fleet is still maintaining standard shield configurations. They haven't adapted to the quantum attacks. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. Launch secondary strike teams. Let's show them what humanity can do. Across the battlefield, human ships emerged from their hiding places, their adaptive shields glowing with an otherworldly blue light. The Empire's massive vessels turned to engage, their energy weapons powering up. Exactly as planned. Dr. Tanaka's voice came through the quantum comm from her lunar command center. Remember, their weapons are powerful but predictable. Let the adaptive shields do their work. The more energy they pour into their attacks, the more we can redirect. The space around Jupiter erupted in a display of power unlike anything in human history. Imperial energy beams, capable of destroying entire cities, struck the human ship's quantum shields. Instead of attempting to block the overwhelming force, the shields absorbed and redirected it, creating cascade effects that rippled through space-time itself. They're launching their fighter squadrons. General Santos reported from Earth Command. Standard Imperial attack pattern. Just like the simulations, the Empire's fighters were technological marvels, but they relied on pre-programmed combat routines that hadn't changed in generations. They faced something entirely new. Human ships guided by adaptive AI that could learn and modify tactics in real time. Sarah watched as her fleet executed maneuvers that should have been impossible. The quantum drives allowed them to appear and disappear at will, while their adaptive shields turned the Empire's own weapons against them. It was like watching a dance, a deadly, precise demonstration of humanity's innovation. Imperial flagship is changing position, Rodriguez announced. They're falling back to regroup. For the first time in centuries, The Meridian Empire faced an enemy they couldn't simply overwhelm with brute force. Their crystalline ships, beautiful but inflexible, struggled to adapt to humanity's quantum warfare. High Admiral Xandar's voice boomed across all frequencies, a hint of uncertainty creeping into its usually confident tone. This resistance is futile. You cannot hope to defeat the full might of the Empire. Sarah opened a channel in response. We don't need to defeat your entire empire, Admiral. We just need to prove that the cost of subjugating Earth will be too high. Your ships are powerful, but every minute of this battle is teaching our AI new ways to counter them. As if to emphasize her point, another group of Imperial vessels vanished, their quantum signatures scattered across parallel dimensions. The Empire's rigid battle formations began to break down as ship after ship found their weapons useless against humanity's adaptive defenses. Second wave. Commence attack pattern Delta, Sarah commanded. The human fleet moved with perfect coordination, their quantum drives creating a complex web of spatial distortions. Imperial sensors, designed to track normal space travel, could barely follow their movements. Dr. Wang's AI systems proved their worth as they predicted and countered Imperial tactics before they could fully develop. The Empire's commanders, used to relying on overwhelming force, found themselves outmaneuvered by an enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. They're pulling back, Rodriguez reported, excitement creeping into his professional tone. Multiple Imperial vessels are breaking formation. Their shield harmonics are fluctuating. They're trying to adapt, but too late. Sarah watched as the mighty Imperial fleet, which had terrorized thousands of worlds, began to retreat from the quantum chaos humanity had unleashed. But she knew this was only the beginning. The Empire wouldn't accept this defeat easily. All ships maintain battle positions, she ordered. This isn't over. The Empire still has vast resources, and they'll be back with new tactics. But today, we've shown them something they haven't seen in centuries. Real resistance. As the Imperial fleet withdrew to regroup, humanity had won its first major victory. But Sarah could already see the massive reinforcement fleet emerging from wormholes at the edge of the solar system. The Empire was about to demonstrate why they had ruled the galaxy for so long. The real war was just beginning. The Imperial reinforcement fleet emerged from hyperspace like a crystalline tsunami. Thousands of ships, far more than anyone had anticipated, filled the space between Mars and Jupiter. Their massive forms blotted out the stars, each vessel larger and more heavily armed than those in the first wave. From her command center on the lunar base, Dr. Yuki Tanaka watched the sensor readings with growing concern. They've modified their shield frequencies. They're adapting faster than we expected. The Empire's response to their initial defeat had been swift and brutal. They'd already destroyed 3 of Earth's outer colonies, their new weapons capable of partially penetrating the quantum shields. The few survivors spoke of attacks that bent space itself, suggesting the Empire had been holding back their true capabilities. All remaining colonies, initiate emergency evacuation protocols, Commander Chen ordered from the UES Defiant. Her ship, still hidden in Saturn's rings, had become the focal point of humanity's resistance. Fall back to the designated quantum corridors. We can't hold the outer system. The Empire's new flagship, twice the size of their previous command vessel, took position near Mars. High Admiral Xandar's voice echoed through all communication channels, its tone dripping with cold fury. Your resistance has cost you everything. We offered integration. Now you will witness obliteration. The attack began with a weapon Earth's sensors couldn't even classify. A wave of crystalline energy swept through the asteroid belt, transforming everything it touched into fractalized space, a region where the laws of physics themselves broke down. Mining outposts and defense platforms simply ceased to exist, their matter reorganized at the quantum level. They're not just trying to defeat us, Dr. Wang reported from Earth's I Command Center. They're sending a message to any other species that might consider rebellion. But humanity wasn't finished yet. The quantum drive technology had evolved. thanks to constant refinement by their AI systems. As Imperial forces pushed toward Earth, they encountered something new: quantum mines that created localized time distortions, trapping enemy ships in temporal bubbles where seconds stretched into years. President Lai addressed the emergency council from the underground bunker in the Himalayas. "We've lost the outer system, but Earth's quantum shield network is holding. How long can we maintain it?" Dr. Tanaka's hologram flickered as another Imperial attack rocked the lunar base. The shield draws power from the quantum fluctuations caused by enemy attacks. The stronger they hit us, the more energy we can redirect. But they're learning to modulate their weapons. We need something more. Commander Chen's voice cut through the discussion. "I have a proposal. The Empire's using crystalline technology for everything. Ships, weapons, even their communication systems. What if we could turn that against them?" The plan was audacious. Using the quantum drives, they would create a resonance cascade throughout the crystalline structure of the Imperial fleet. But it would require precise timing and putting their remaining ships at risk. "We'll need to get close," Chen explained. "Really close. Inside their formation close." General Santos objected immediately. "That's suicide. Their new weapons will tear our ships apart before they get within range. Not if we give them something bigger to worry about." Chen brought up a tactical display of Saturn. "We've hidden our best ships in the rings, using the ice and debris for cover. But what if we used the rings themselves as a weapon?" The plan took shape quickly. Earth's remaining fleet would seem to mount a desperate defense of the home system, drawing the Imperial forces into position. Meanwhile, specially equipped ships would use their quantum drives to alter the orbital mechanics of Saturn's rings themselves. The Empire's forces pressed their advantage, pushing closer to Earth with each passing hour. Their crystalline ships moved with new precision, having learned from their earlier defeat. But they didn't realize they were being drawn into position for humanity's most desperate gambit. "All ships, prepare for Operation Ring Break," Chen commanded. "Earth fleet will engage their front lines. Make it look good. We need them to think we're committing everything to a final defense." The space around Earth erupted in chaos as the two fleets clashed. Imperial weapons tore through space, while human ships used their quantum drives to appear and disappear, striking from impossible angles. But this time, the Empire was ready. Their adapted shields could now partially deflect the quantum attacks, and their numbers seemed endless. Just when the battle seemed hopeless, Commander Chen gave the signal. Hidden ships throughout Saturn's rings activated their quantum drives simultaneously, creating a massive distortion field. The rings themselves began to shift, billions of tons of ice and rock suddenly accelerating to relativistic speeds. The Empire's perfect formation shattered as they realized too late what was happening. Their crystalline ships, for all their power, couldn't react quickly enough to the sudden appearance of an artificial asteroid field moving at near light speed. But even as chunks of Saturn's rings tore through their fleet, the Empire revealed they still had one more weapon, one that would force humanity to make an impossible choice. The real test of humanity's resolve was about to begin. The Empire's final weapon emerged from hyperspace behind Earth's moon, a massive crystalline structure that dwarfed even their largest battleships. Its surface rippled with energy patterns that defied analysis, and its mere presence caused quantum fluctuations throughout the solar system. "By the gods," Dr. Tanaka whispered from her lunar base. "They've weaponized a quantum singularity." High Admiral Xandar's voice carried a note of triumph. "Behold the stellar obliterator. Surrender now, and your species may yet survive as servants. Resist, and we will tear your world apart at the quantum level." Commander Chen watched from the bridge of the UES Defiant as her sensors tried to make sense of the weapon. The Empire had created something that could literally unravel the fabric of space-time around a planet. Their demonstration on one of Jupiter's moons had turned it into a quantum anomaly where matter and energy existed in impossible states. "We can't let them use that thing on Earth." President Li's voice was steady despite the implications. "All our defensive innovations, our quantum shields, They won't stop this. But Dr. Wong, monitoring the situation from Earth's Eye Command Center, noticed something crucial: the weapon's crystalline structure. It's identical to their ships, just on a massive scale. And anything crystalline has a resonance frequency. Chen understood immediately. Dr. Tanaka, if we modify our quantum drives to match that frequency, we could create a cascade effect, Tanaka finished. But we'd need to get multiple ships close enough to synchronize their drives. The energy backlash would destroy anything within thousands of kilometers, including the ships controlling the resonance, General Santos added grimly. Chen looked at her crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. We've already lost the outer colonies. We can't lose Earth. I'm volunteering the Defiant. Not alone, came multiple voices over the quantum network as other ship captains stepped forward. They would need at least 5 ships working in perfect coordination to create a strong enough resonance field. The Empire's ultimatum gave them 1 hour to surrender. They used that time to prepare for their final gambit. Dr. Tanaka worked frantically to modify the quantum drives, while Dr. Wong's AI systems calculated the exact frequencies needed to trigger a catastrophic resonance in the crystalline structure. Remember, Tanaka warned the volunteer ships, you'll need to maintain position for at least 30 seconds while the resonance builds. Their weapons will tear through your shields in half that time. Commander Chen addressed her crew one last time. Everyone who wants to evacuate, now's your chance. What we're about to do, there's no coming back from it. Not a single crew member left their post. The attack began with Earth's remaining fleet launching what appeared to be a desperate assault on the stellar obliterator. The Empire's forces moved to intercept, expecting another quantum drive attack. Instead, they found themselves engaged in conventional combat as humanity's ships deliberately avoided using their advanced technology. They think we've exhausted our quantum capabilities, Chen observed. Position your ships according to the Eye's calculations. We'll only get 1 shot at this. The 5 volunteer ships, including the Defiant, used the chaos of battle as cover to move into position around the massive weapon. The Empire realized too late what was happening. Now, Chen ordered, all ships activate quantum resonance. The space around the stellar obliterator lit up as 5 quantum drives engaged simultaneously, their frequencies perfectly tuned to the weapon's crystalline structure. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Cracks of pure light spread across the weapon's surface as the resonance took hold. The Empire's attempts to stop it only made things worse. Every energy weapon they fired added to the quantum feedback loop. 15 seconds, Rodriguez reported as the Defiant's hull screamed under the strain. Their shields were gone, and the ship was being torn apart by the same forces they had unleashed. 20 seconds came the count as other ships reported critical damage. The crystalline structure of the weapon was beginning to fracture, pieces of it dissolving into quantum foam. 25 seconds. The stellar obliterator shattered in a blast that rippled through space-time itself. The explosion created a temporary quantum nebula, a cloud of possibilities where physics broke down and reformed. When it cleared, both the weapon and the 5 brave ships that had destroyed it were gone. But their sacrifice had done more than save Earth. The destruction of their ultimate weapon, combined with the losses from Operation Ring Break, had dealt the Empire a blow unlike anything in their history. High Admiral Xandar's final transmission carried something humans had never heard in an imperial voice: respect. We have ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Never have we encountered a species willing to sacrifice everything to remain free. The Meridian Empire withdraws from Earth space, not in defeat, but in recognition of equals. The war ended not with Earth's submission, but with humanity's acceptance into the galactic community as a sovereign power. The Empire had learned that true strength lies not in overwhelming force, but in the willingness to innovate, adapt, and sacrifice for what you believe in. In the years that followed, humanity shared their quantum drive technology with other species that had been subjugated by the Empire. The balance of power in the galaxy shifted as more worlds claimed their independence. And on Earth, in a quiet memorial garden, a statue was erected showing 5 ships flying into the heart of a crystal storm. Its inscription read, "To those who proved that humanity's greatest power lies not in our weapons, but in our unwillingness to submit to tyranny. Ad astra per sacrificium, to the stars through sacrifice."